Hello. This is going to be the first podcast where I actually show my face for a change and be a little bit more laxed and things like that. I thought it'd be a lot better to start doing these in more of a visual sense rather than just an audio sense, because I know that part of it was due to my own sort of, I'm going to be honest, open and honest, my own insecurities. I'm not exactly the skinniest of fellows. So I feel, and that's why it's taken me so long to do face cam on my recordings. And I got to a point where it's like, do you know what, it is what it is. There's things that I can do about it, and I elect not to. And that's not because I don't want to, it's because it's difficult. And especially in this podcast today, and if you're triggered by anything that is discussed or you're affected by anything that's discussed, I want to start. I think affected is a better word than triggered. I know it's just a lot of people that a word that people use on a regular basis. But yeah, this is kind of coming off the back of what happened with Liam from One Direction. It wasn't even before that, as I spoke about in what's going on in the internet right now. There's a lot of things happening that are just it's just rage bait out there. Whether that, even if this podcast reaches one or two people, I've done my job at the end of the day. I've done what I set out to do. I'm not looking at the masses. I'm looking at the individuals that associate with, this channel. And, these podcasts can get very heavy. That's why I do the gaming videos, to give, you guys a chance to decompress from some of the things that I speak about. It's multi-purpose at the end of the day, and obviously I want to do so much more with it. And that just kind of comes in time. Realistically, I have to stay in my lane and do what I'm known for and good at, which is doing these and doing the gaming videos. And if you're recognising the t-shirt, yeah, I've just got off the back of recording a couple of episodes or something, because I try and bulk record whenever I have the opportunity to. I think at this moment in time, and I'm trying to be a lot more objective about this, because this is like my third attempt trying to record this podcast, purely because of the fact that there is a lot of awareness being raised for suicide prevention and suicide in general. I'm not going to beat around the bush with it, I'm afraid. So this is why I post, the services and that services that can provide help to people suffering with suicidal thoughts or suicidal ideology. I think it's, we're, as a society, we are not built or equipped for the level of demand that is expected of us in a given setting. We're not. As simple as that, we're not. And it's, I didn't research into the statistics, but I know that over the years the statistics have increased. Whether that's because there are more people than there have been, or whether that's because it's a genuine thing, there's a lot going on in the world right now that people do not want to be a part of. Especially in places like Iran or, Ukraine, where people are being ripped from their homes and war is running rife through these countries. And then you get to the Western world where there's nothing but rage bait, drama, people attacking one another. And I know that I made some pretty I wouldn't say outlandish statements, but I basically agreed with the rest of YouTube against what KSI was doing with Lunchly. Was it needed? Was it wanted? Not really. Was it just a cash grab? And I think the reason, and thinking about it a lot more, and it is something I thought about a lot, is because of the fact of its target audience is aimed at kids. And I know I made reference to Top of the Morning Coffee by Jacksepticeye, but the thing is with that, this is I compared it to another, like another alcoholic brand, and that's the thing. What the Sidemen have done with XX vodka, or even the fast food chain, their demographic isn't kids, and I think what stirred the pot up the most was the fact that Lunchly was aimed at kids when there was already Lunchables. There was already alternatives. You don't need to enter a competition just because it's there. There is no gap in the market, you know. But I'm kind of going off topic of what I'm speaking about. I'm to put it bluntly, it's a fickle bitch because people can do it and it can be good, and people can do it could be wrong. I'm not going to say bad because I've never tried the product. With Prime, they entered a space that was already had Powerade and Lucozade. If I could remember any others, I would. But yeah, it's they entered it. It became popular. I don't think it overtook Lucozade and Powerade. Really don't, to be honest. Or Red Bull, if you want to go with some, Red Bull's kind of a grey area with the energy drink world. People drink it. It gets sold, but I think it's because a lot of kids would drink Prime and a lot of kids would use it. I've tried it. I've tried it for, what it's intended for, and it is a good drink, but I remember YouTube when I first started watching it as being a place to go where you can escape from everything and escape from your own troubles in life. I used Game Theory, Watch Mojo, KSI, a lot of the OGs that paved the way for the platform. And it's seeing these OGs now, original creators, but if you want me to be more formal about it, a lot of these creators are going above and beyond, and probably above and beyond in the places that are warranting what has been happening. And all that's created a space for now is negativity in a place that was supposed to provide positivity, in a place that was supposed to provide an escape, a video sharing platform where, the first video ever posted was my day at the zoo. It was a vlogging channel. A vlogging website before Google, completely took it and it turned into its own business platform. But yeah, it's difficult because, and I said this in a previous video, and I'm trying not to be, charged about this. It is difficult right now to get views. Not just because I'm a small channel, and the amount of promotion I did at the beginning of the year, and yeah, skyrocketed. Putting videos down for a $5 at a time, that sort of thing. I'm not in the business to be promoting extensively like that. Did a lot of promotions to get my channel out there, and the algorithm doesn't support channels that are doing what I'm doing or what other creators are doing anymore, unless you already have a platform built. There are so many creators on the platform nowadays that wanted to turn on a camera and record for different reasons, whether it's because they enjoyed it, whether because they had a subject that they wanted to approach. I did. I set out to record gaming videos, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to create a space for people to connect. And yeah, it takes time. It takes a lot of work, and that is why I follow along with Twitch streamers. Almost like market research, as well as getting my own positives out of it. And trouble is these days is we're too with negativity is trending, whether that be through, I don't know, obviously what's happening with KSI, what's happening with Linkin Park and Jamie Bennington, as I've mentioned before, all the news, what's happening in Iran, what's happening in Ukraine, what's happening in our own governments. We have the presidential election coming up. But the media don't want to push for that, push for the lighter side of things. They don't. They don't. Simple as that. If you were to type in, and there's Epic Rap Battles of History just did this, and I'm glad that it has happened because it's rare. You type in Trump versus Kamala, Trump versus Harris. The new Epic Rap Battles of History that just got released will be one of the first things that you see, which I'm grateful for, because we need a little bit of laughter in these trying times. And I find it particularly difficult to look at sometimes. I mean, I come here and present myself as a place of, as a place where people can come, where they can feel like they are heard, where they can feel wanted, where they can feel welcome, where they can escape without any fear or judgment of who they are. And, I've not always been the most popular of people growing up. Not because of my attitude, it's just because I was the local weirdo. I was the school kid. The weird school kid, sorry. The weird nerdy school kid. But my point being is, for all those people that need or want to be in a space like this, there is millions upon millions of other people that overshadow that with all the negativity and the content rage bait going on. I've seen countless of videos at the moment where content creators, whether it be shared, whether it be made by themselves, of creators that are struggling because of what's happening right now. Creators that just want to provide somewhere where people can come. Your comments, I've left comments on people's videos that have got lost in the ether because of, and I know that this video won't get many views. I know it won't, because it's not what's hot right now. And I don't expect people to go above and beyond for the channel and to push it out there. I don't expect anything from anyone. As I say, if I can just help a few people at this moment in time, great. Because a lot of this podcast is me rambling on into a camera about things that, kind of divert its way from the topic that I was originally meant to speak about, which is, suicide awareness. But then when you need the context, and you need the, what could possibly draw someone to the point of where they would end up doing that. And the point I'm trying to make is that spaces like YouTube that originally provided an escape is actually drawing more people in to the negativity and leeching the life out of them. Because at the end of the day, YouTube is about, as a business platform, is about making money. And when you have a trend that's going, you follow the trend, you follow everything, and you continue on and on and on and on and on. It will die down. Remember when, veganism, veganuary, and things like that was running rife? YouTube were promoting it, the media was promoting it. It was, it makes money off of these things. It makes money off of these trends. And if negativity is trending, then they're going to jump on that. the thing is with it though, and I do start over my words quite a lot, so I do apologise if I start a sentence twice. When it comes down to mental health, it's everywhere. You see it everywhere. You see all these schemes and all these services that are trying to help people. And bless them, they're not always equipped to deal with it because of the sheer numbers that come at them. And respect for the people that volunteer at these services provided. And I do applaud, the practitioners that help, that actually care, that aren't defeated by the economy we're in. Speaking about the NHS at this point. Why does it cost so much to care for a human being? Why do we pay, especially in the UK, why do we pay into a service that is supposed to provide care for a human being? Why does it cost so much? Before anyone goes on to, oh, because of this and because of this and because of that, no. Your humanity should be enough to turn around and go, that person needs help and you help them. Fuck the budgets, fuck the money. You have the resources. Help. And I know that there are a lot of, and I've worked in care myself, and I've been in those situations. I know healthcare assistants have been as well, and they've been in similar situations. It's not the fault of the labour, it's the fault of the management. And yes, it does have an effect on the labour. Of course it does. Management is affecting the labour, then the labour is affecting the service user, whether they mean to or not. And I wish that it was different. I wish that we could move past it. But too many people are dying right now, whether it's by their own hands or whether it's by other countries or dictators or governments. And it's rough. It is rough out there. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. We're coming towards what should be the best time of the year for people. And it's not. It's always overshadowed with grief, overshadowed with loss, negativity. And I think, and this is, fair play to Jack using his platform like that for Thankmas. If I could get in touch with him and help him out with it, I would. I do want to do more streams and more charity streams and things like that. Of course I do. If I could do this full time, I would. To put it bluntly, because I want to do this full time because of the type of people that I want to reach out to and say, here's a place you can talk about your feelings. Here's a place that you can decompress afterwards. Here's a place you can escape. Here's a place where you can be free. But the big cats don't want you to be drawn to this because you're not following the trend. You've got to follow the trend. You've got to follow along with what's going on. And it puts people in positions where they don't value themselves enough to keep going. I've been and that's why I can speak openly like this. I know a lot of people that have been there or are there. And I wish there was a lot more I could do. I do. Of course I do. You guys, the people, the 10, 20 watchers right now that watch these sort of my videos, I hope that you're getting something from them. Even if you've made it this far into the podcast, thank you. Because I know that in a manner of speaking, I've helped you in some way. Whether you be one viewer, whether you be multiple viewers, I know that I helped you in some way. Or you've watched this and thought, what a dickhead. However, I'm pushing for that. This isn't some announcement video of me trying to push myself into the ether even more. I know it's going to be hard work. The point I'm trying to make is that you're not alone, put it simply. And I think that raising awareness for something that kills millions every day isn't enough. At times. That's my honest opinion. Raising awareness for suicide isn't always enough. It's just to me, sometimes it feels like it's just people saying people commit suicide every day. Nothing more, nothing less. We have all these schemes about talking to people. Talking to people isn't easy. Talking to people about your problems isn't easy because you feel like you're passing on your baggage to someone else. And they're not going to know what to do with that baggage because inside that baggage is puzzles of your own mind that you're trying to piece together that you can't always see all the pieces for. There's people missing. Some of them are 3D puzzles. Some of them are tiny baby puzzles with I'm using this metaphor way too much in this instance, but yeah, people want you to be able to conceptualize what you're feeling and how you're feeling it. Some people can, most of the time, you can only conceptualize as to what they're feeling and why, not how. A cut to someone, say, all right, cut my hand the other day. Didn't really hurt. Bled. That same cut can be horrifically painful for someone else. Exact same. Because we're all built differently. Sometimes I wish that we were, with the technology that we have, kind of like those machines that, simulate contractions within pregnancy or period cramps or actually giving birth. Sometimes I wish there was like that for what? You're able to collect it all into a headset, like a VR headset, for example, like something like this. You record everything that you see through these eyes onto a headset, and I'm speaking Black Mirror here, and I do apologize, you're able to pass it on to someone else. You have the headphones, and you're able to see everything that they've seen that day in exactly the way they've seen it, and be able to feel everything that they've felt exactly how they felt it. That's what people want. That's why people say that you won't understand, because realistically, no, you won't. You'll be able to empathize with it, mostly, but actually feeling it for what it is, you can't. As an empath myself, I wish I could. All I can feel is the weight of emotions on the people that don't express any. And to not go into too much detail about it, when I lost my father-in-law, that was a prime example of that. But these are the sort of emotions that people will repress until it ends up killing them. Or whether they end up killing themselves. You know, I've been doing this channel for about 18 months, and the more that I've done it, and the worse everything's got. God. And the more that'll slide down to the bottom of the... there's probably like a tier list of... a list of all the YouTubers in the world. Bearing in mind this platform is very much oversaturated enough as it is, so, you know, this is what's always going to be a difficult task. But I will always remain hopeful, and I'll always keep fighting. For you guys. The people that need it. Because while there may not be enough at times to help, enough things that you can do that will help, I will always, I will always be one of those people that will be willing to at least try in the moments that you don't think it's good. Doing this degree, especially running a YouTube alongside of it at the same time, has definitely taught me and put me in a direction of where I want to be, what I want to do. You know. And counselling is one of those that obviously is a bit of a grey area, especially when you're in the spotlight. Oh, I'm trying not to yawn. I always yawn when I talk for too long. But at the same time, there isn't enough of them out there that can provide people with something like this. Really. And I mean, I'm sure there's probably loads, and I'm not saying there's fuck all, but when you look at YouTube as a whole and you categorize it, I would imagine the statistic for therapy, well, gaming and therapy channels being very low on that list. I'd be surprised if I even had a single digit of a percentage in that space. As normal, I hope you guys have made sense of what I've been trying to say. Because, God, I don't know what I talk about sometimes. I don't even remember half of these, and even when I record, I'm about the same. But if I can save one life, I'm happy. If I can save multiple, then I'm ecstatic. Because trust me, I do know how it feels. Not to the extent that other people have, but I do. That in itself is subjective, and that is a conversation that can be plated for a guest, I suppose. But please, message me if you want to come in and join and speak openly about anything. Do a conversation surrounded around bubble tea as far as I'm concerned. At the end of the day, this podcast is supposed to be helping people and another form of escape, but digging into its roots. So, as always, towards improving mentally every day takes time. I'm sorry if this probably wasn't the outcome you expected of this podcast. But it's heavy to talk about. I do hope that you got something from this. Because this is just, these podcasts are just me speaking openly about things that I know affect people. Well, because I seem to be doing repeated intros a lot today in my recordings, and you'll probably see that across various other places within the channel. Towards improving mentally every day takes time. And time you have a lot of. Even when you feel like you don't. I'll see you guys again soon.